Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the end of the character of Plain Stale Innocence. And in this episode, we will finish off the final boss fight against Vitalis.
In the white room with the black rats and the white ones. Oh crap! He trapped us again. But we avoided it. Okay, this should be it now. Send in the rats.
And yay! Smack him with a rock, Amicia. You were correct, Mr. Cloud. We only had to hit him 3 times.
Bash his brains in.
Boof! And so, Grand Inquisitor Vitalis succumbs to blunt trauma injuries.
Hugo!
I mean, he was still just an old man. He was a really resilient old man. Let love bleed out in my hands again. Love lies bleeding. And so Hugo has ascended, like a rite of passage, that now
he has the power to control the rats.
There is life and there is death.
So,
there is good and there is evil. There are white rats and there are black ones.
okay, we're not supposed to draw into the racist connotations there, but yeah, that's what there are. I very much enjoyed my mostly blind playthrough of this game. I personally think that if you're looking for a decent stealth action game that isn't Metal Gear Solid, this is actually a relatively good stealth action game. The crafting system is never honestly all that intrusive, and you saw me go through the entire game, and I still had like half the upgrade tree left. So yeah, you can get by without using the crafting system if you want to. Don't, having the additional ammo is very, very nice. But yeah, I enjoyed this game quite a bit. How about you, Mr. Cloud?
I think this game is definitely good. Like, given the choice between bad or good, it's definitely a good game. I just would not go through this game entirely without some frustration as to the learning process.
A bit, yeah.
Because the theme of these horror style games is there's a lot of learning involved. Like, what is the correct order to do the things? What are the things? Where are the people? What are they talking about? Why can't I make them shut up?
But it never gets so bad as to actually get into a god-dang it moment for the game, to be perfectly honest. Like, almost everything is actually not necessarily explicit, but directly implied to the player, so...
Yeah, they do a lot of the explaining work, which will help you to complete the situation without having to retry situations over and over again.
So we start
we got
chapter
one more
17,
nice.
The epilogue, For Each Other.
And we'll see how much loading
it's not that much, honestly. It's like, it is more than it should be, sure, but it's not that much.
I mean, for a game when you die in one hit, which is not a thing that I look for in my games. I like the games that have a health bar system that gives you some grace.
Have you got everything? Yes.
This definitely a different feeling kind of game.
Mommy going to get better with this?
She will be alright, Hugo. Mommy is tough, isn't she? Just like you.
That's right. I can't wait for us to find a new castle.
So we have decided to go and attempt to go and get some alchemy supplies from a local fairground.
Go home. Yes, the nest is still there. But
they're plucking the chickens and chopping the pork. It's time for a feast.
Not me. My sister's really good. Right, Amicia?
Alright. Let's have
Come
a go.
on, press the E button. Let's have a go.
The rule is simple. You have 6 stones, 6 possible shots. Try and shoot as many targets as possible. Are you ready?
Ready.
Go on, Amicia.
Here are your racks.
And
Show them what you can do.
And 2 and 3.
Oh, that good old
4,
lock-on system. And 4.
5.
And 5. And
there it is.
where's the 6th one?
6.
Hey,
Found it.
you know how to do it. You won an apple. And all due respect.
Yes, Amicia, well done.
Thank you, sir.
Yay.
You're my biggest supporter.
Oh, thanks. I was hungry.
As always.
Hey,
Apples
they
are
were
good.
celebrating the 3rd day
Apples
with
are
our
great.
rocks. There's a little fair down the street. Go take a look.
Apples in February does sound pretty...
I've never seen a fair before.
I mean,
This is waiting
maybe?
for us. We should be getting back.
But it's a fair. Come on.
Hugo. All right, but we can't stay long.
We can rebuild the village.
So, yeah, this epilogue is technically, by a very slim technicality, actually setting up points for the sequel.
But why?
Because you can.
I'm not entirely sure how, because I've not played the sequel yet, but
Is there a
yes,
problem?
that is what it is attempting to do. Also, it's just a nice, you know, a sequence of Amicia and Hugo getting to hang around and be a little brother and big sister at a fairground.
But the fair.
Come on.
It's okay, Hugo.
Well, Emily Caldwin grew up to become a cold-hearted assassin. Maybe Hugo will also grow up to become a legend.
I'm not entirely sure if Hugo has it in him to become a legend. I mean, he's still very dependent right now. You know, he doesn't really have the emotional maturity to understand how his actions inflict death upon
The first one
others.
to arrive at the cart wins 20 apples.
20?
The apples?
But you'll never beat me. Right, Slap?
But you have to eat them all in
yeah?
one
Then
sitting.
3. 1, 2.
3.
Where's the cart? Yeah, you cheated. I got the longer stride.
You can't beat me.
This is honestly a very adorable sequence.
Yay.
All
You
right,
have the feel-good
all right.
violins like we're in the Shire.
Yes, 20 apples.
We made
Yay.
it. Do you have everything? The St. John's wort, the hawthorn, all of it. Let's go. Good.
Oh, what were these cool cats cooking up?
Well, again, Lucas's attempt, as it was
Lenny
briefly
looked at me
implied,
the same way. Then she left. Because she doesn't like me anymore.
Lucas is attempting specifically to cure Beatrice's condition because she actually has. She is how Hugo has the macula, very specifically. It is a genetic line. It's just weird that Pope Vital or Inquisitor Vitalis was able to extract the macula from Hugo and get it into
The
himself.
herbs you bought shall soon be back on a thing. All right.
Well, it has only been 3 days since that battle, sure.
Hey, Hugo,
What?
do you think I'm pretty?
You're ugly. Really ugly.
Ugly? Me?
You look like a big fat fly.
Slow fade out, zoom away.
Fly! Your own sister.
The
Such a
end.
Sarah punishment.
Question mark.
And because I haven't played the sequel, I get to pretend that they go on to live partially happily ever after. Except, you know, they're still in 14th century France. So
Well, this is where we leave our troop of youngsters who had saved the world.
by using black magic alchemy,
And slingshots.
yes.
Lots and lots of slingshots.
But yeah, I really enjoyed my blind playthrough of this game, to be perfectly honest. I'm glad I did this blind. I am not really willing to do blind playthroughs for Rocket Rabbit all that often. But horror games specifically, I think are much better experienced blind. And I was under the impression that this actually was a horror game, but it's not. It's action, stealth, and survival, but it's not horror. We have a lot of...
It gets pretty horrifying.
We have horror elements, most certainly, but there are no... But even with the horror elements, there's no real, scary moments for the player to go through, especially when you become desensitized to all the stuff that, that happens when you become our age, Mr. Cloud.
Yeah, we have seen some shit, indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're up for an action stealth game, I actually fully recommend this. It's not as good as Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, as far as I am aware, but I argue it's more playable than those, mostly because those are locked to systems that are extremely difficult to have physical editions of right now. Hint, hint, quote, quote. Yeah.
This game will definitely resonate with the folks who enjoy their darker and grittier games where there's lots of death, lots of strategy, and also let me point out the rat in the big rat in the room. The polish on this game is quite good,
yes.
like more than just good. That other games will rehash settings. This game really honed in on a specific period in human history, like the Black Plague, which every person growing up who learns about the world ought to know that there was a really dark period in history that was characterized by many people dying. And when I say many, I mean more people dying of disease than in any other period since then. Actually, I think even the pandemic of 2020 did not claim as many lives as the Black Plague did.
It did not. The Black Plague supposedly cut the population of Europe down by 60%.
Of Europe, yes. And it just goes to show that if you have any spark of curiosity whatsoever as to how a whole team of people like these English, French, and German voice actors did for giving life to characters who will help you get into the perspective required for a story like this game is definitely for you. A little campy at times, which is inevitable if you have a game that includes children as characters. It's a really well-told tale.
Hey, Fox 3D Entertainment.
I mean, it might put a sour note on your remembrance of the game if you recall having lots and lots of game overs. I know that I've had my game experiences become marred by such unfortunate occurrences, and they do happen. It's part of the it's part of the push and pull of the game. It will push you to be better, but it's going to pull some of your patience out of you in the process.
Thankfully, the game doesn't usually have all that many sprees of game overs when it's going through the stealth action segments. When it's going through the full action segments, certainly, and when it's going through the puzzle segments, there are a couple of instances where the puzzle segments are a bit too wonky, but I argue that there's only about 2 of those each, and the 2 action segments are at the direct end of the game, and the 2 puzzle segments are at the midpoint, so they are segmented off from each other. Anyway, this has been us commenting over Plague's Tale: Innocence.
And join us next time for a game that has not quite so many rats.
Indeed. Be safe, everybody.